Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Leadership Trail Mix. In today's episode, we'll have part 2 of an amazing conversation I had with Eric Stone, the author of the book, Jumpstart Your Workplace Culture, a Roadmap for Igniting High Performance. So here we go. Culture of pride. I would love for you to expand a little bit on that. That's something that I read about on the book, and I would love to understand, how do you define it and how do you get there?
Very slowly. It is like what I have 3 kids. I say, You know how you get wealthy? Very slowly. You know how you build culture? Very slowly, you know?" So, I think there's a few important things. One, you're gonna depend on what I talk about are culture carriers to help you spread your culture or your vision or things. Those are the people within your organization who are really gonna be the voice. The culture of pride, I'll share a story. We were going after something that the region I was part of had never won before. This prestigious award that you can earn as a team. And when you earn that, great things happen, not for the leader, but actually for others, because people want people from successful teams. So the benefit of being part of something special was other organizations would want your people, which I thought was good
Yep.
because internally, of course, we could promote people within the company to other parts of the country. And that was their incentive to say, hey, if we can do this as a team, maybe there's something. Of course, you want something in it for them, for all this hard work that they're going to do. So we picked a few short-term victories when we were bringing everyone together that we could hopefully celebrate. Long story short, as we did secure a few wins, we were able to achieve this award that we never, ever did before.
Wow.
And so, but the culture of pride was when we did a fun event. It was a booze cruise. So this is, you're getting everyone together, having some fun. And we're on this cruise, everyone's eating, having a couple of drinks. They were dancing on the dance floor when in the background, all of a sudden, you heard a chant. And the chant was our call letters within the company that slowly was building some momentum. And all of a sudden, everyone on this booze cruise felt this pride that they were part of something. And
Hmm.
everyone started to change. One of my most memorable moments of a slow journey to celebrate this pride, they felt it was that important. And if we were at a yearly meeting or wherever it was, they took pride to say, I'm from whatever your call letters might be.
Yeah.
And so that's just a quick story. And it always, a good reflection. I love sports.
Uh-huh.
And when there's a movie called Miracle, which was actually about the United States hockey team, who, in their story of how they take these amateurs to win eventually a gold medal in 1980. And the coach, Herb Brooks, made a powerful line. I think it was him who said it, who said, you have to play for the name in front of the jersey, not the name in the back.
Wow.
And the name in the back is usually your name, and the name in the front is USA. And so kind of goes into this culture of pride.
100%. I love that. I love analogies. So you're talking my language 100% here. I have one more question for us before the call to action, Eric, and it's one that I just cannot skip. Sometimes I see leaders, and I've seen leaders in my career, kind of commiserating with their employees about the company culture, ignoring the fact that we are all part of that culture. We all should help build it. And even if not a great company culture, I believe leaders can still create a positive microculture for their
Yeah.
teams. Do you have any examples to share with us of cultural shifts that you saw starting small, almost like as a pay it forward movement, and then transform the macro culture of an organization?
Yeah, and such a good point, because there are always usually microcultures in any corporation. And you have to be very careful of when people commiserate and complain downhill. Very dangerous in organizational culture. So I'll share a story that I think hits your point. And what we were doing is we were having our customer service was flatlining. Okay, so all of a sudden our service was flatlining. And we utilized what we called our think tank, which was a group of individuals, managers who would come together and try to think of opportunities, challenges. What can we do as an organization to be better? And they came up with the fact that, yes, it's flatlining. We're going into the summer, a really busy time for us. A whole bunch of interns are going to be joining. They're new. What are we going to do? And so we found a video that would change a behavior. If you remember, the first definition, behavior is an action
Yep.
of culture. And it was a very simple video. It's a true story about Johnny the Bagger. So John, I don't know if you ever heard the story. I'll try to do a quick version. But Johnny the Bagger was an employee of a large grocery chain. And at one point, they brought a consultant in to change the customer's experience and try to increase loyalty. So the consultant gives this long, inspiring speech. It says, each and every one of you can make a difference by creating memories and having your customers come back. How are you going to do it? You're going to put your personal signature on every interaction. And so Johnny at first didn't know what he could do, calls the consultant a month later and says, at first, I didn't know what I could do. After all, I'm just a bagger. Matter of fact, he proudly informed her that he had Down syndrome, but he had an idea. And he would go home every night and he'd come up with a thought of the day. And on the back, it would say, thank you for shopping. And so every time he would bag the groceries, he puts the thought of the day in and tries to make it a memorable experience by putting his personal signature on the interaction. Well, another month passes and the store manager is doing their rounds and all of a sudden sees Johnny's line is 3 times longer than everybody's line. And so, but he's nervous. He's trying to say, we need employees, more lines. When a customer says, that's okay, I'm waiting for Johnny's thought of the day.
Wow.
Where then someone 10 people back in the frozen food aisle says, I used to come here every week. I now come here every time I'm in the area because I want Johnny's thought of the day, but it doesn't stop there. All of a sudden, the floral department decides to take a broken flower, unused corsage, and they walk around the store and they pin it on a younger child or an elderly adult. And all of a sudden, people having more fun transforms the entire organization. So that's a long way of saying our think tank, we found this video and we wanted to insert it into our team. And so that video became a new hire orientation video. So we used a small pocket, our think tank, to kind of roll this out. This video goes into our orientation. We then put it into our training because it does nothing if you talk about it. You have to teach people how to change people's behaviors and how do you put your personal signature on the interaction? How do you become a Johnny the Bagger? But we didn't stop there. We then wanted to come up with an initiative that would celebrate this moment, true ownership mentality. And so every week, our teams would pick a Johnny the Bagger winner. They would get nominated up. They'd bubble it up all the way up through the regional manager. And we would then pick who is the Johnny the Bagger. That person would then come to an event that happened to be at my house. We'd celebrate. But again, it didn't stop there. We then put it as part of the review process. So we wanted under the customer service section, we wanted people to talk about how do you truly change and become a Johnny the Bagger. So we wanted it talked about in the review process. It matched one of our values, which was all about customer service. And so we used a pocket of individuals through deep research, a simple video that coached on behaviors that slowly brought momentum through the entire region.
That's brilliant. You probably know I'm going to go Google this video. I need to find Johnny the Bagger. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
It put a big smile on my face.
I need to start getting some commissions from Johnny.
You probably should.
It's a great story. I talk about it in all my keynotes. I usually open up with that talk of how you can be a special person. You don't have to wait for it. You can go after it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One sentence that you keep saying that I absolutely love, Eric, is we didn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. And it doesn't need to stop here. And I think that's just the perfect segue into our call to action. We end every episode of Leadership Trail Mix with an invitation for people to take action. So as we get to the end of this episode and based on everything we discussed, what actions would you recommend those listening to us to take this week to be a better people leader when it comes to creating culture?
I think I would go straight to the first part of the hourglass as you might just manage 5 people, 10 people, 1,000 people. And this listen, observe, and learn of coming up with important questions that let you understand what motivates your team, what management style they both work best under. What does career life integration mean to you? What are some things that we can continue to build upon? What are some things we should subtract? And these are all listen, observe, and learn. We called it a 30 minutes of fame where we'd sit down with people. At the very least, make sure you have an initiative that does something about the listen, observe, and learn process of the top of the hourglass where you're pulling information.
I love that, Eric.
So I'd start right there. And that would go into, and we won't have time today, but there are these 5 key factors that they could also utilize within their organizations that will help with engagement.
Thank you so much, Eric. What a pleasure to have you on Leadership Trail Mix. I learned a lot. Really appreciate you.
My pleasure, Miguel. Thanks for the opportunity to share with your audience.
All right. That concludes our first series for Leadership Trail Mix. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, or if you want to share what trying the call to action proposed by Eric look like for you, don't hesitate to reach out. Miguel at leadershiptrailmix.com. Also, if you can think of someone who needs to hear this content, just send it to them. This is the best way to support this podcast. Share it, recommend it. Thank you for listening. Take care and talk soon.